Hi, I'm Lauren from Saltwater Take Adventures,
And this is Jeff.
and we're going to tell you about our saltwater reef aquarium that we have set up here. We spent a few months researching what we wanted to do. Jeff had always kind of wanted to do a reef tank for years, and I was kind of resistant because I always thought that they were expensive and time consuming, and they are pretty expensive. If you end up doing what we did, which was we just bought a full package, but we read a lot and saw a lot of reviews online that basically said if you kind of do your own rig, that you don't end up spending as much money. But being new to this, we didn't really want to have a lot of factors built in that would set us up for failure, so we decided to get the full package, and we ended up going with the Red Sea rimless tank. And when we were deciding on what tank that we should go with, we were kind of skeptical about the rimless tank. As you can see up here, there's no lid on it, so it does allow for a lot of evaporation, but it does have a nice seamless look to it. We're still kind of debating on whether we're going to put a lid on it, and also you run the risk of your fish jumping out of the tank. So we added, I would say probably about 60% bulk reef rock to the tank, and we also added some live rock in there. You can see it. The purple rock is the live rock, and the white rock is the bulk reef rock. We ordered that off bulkreefsupply.com, and that's worked out pretty well so far. We also added biospirina, which is something that you add to the tank when you put everything in, and it kind of jump starts the tank. And on the bottle it says that it automatically makes your tank ready for fish, but we didn't want to take that chance, so we kind of gave it a week to let the tank cycle a little bit. We checked the levels every few days, and everything read good. We didn't really have a huge spike. Right now we're reading a little high on our nitrates, but that's about it. We added 2 little clownfish. Let me see if I can get them in here. There's one down in the corner. They're kind of hanging out in the corner right now. But we added them. We also added some, you can see all the snails are kind of bunched up here down together. We added them. We also added some crabs. We didn't want to add a whole lot to the tank because it's not really good to add a lot at once, because it puts a lot of strain on your tank and you can crash it if you add too much at once. So we're taking it slow. Patience is the #1 thing when you're doing a saltwater aquarium, so we are trying to be kind of patient. So like I said, we ended up doing the Red Sea package deal, and it was a couple $1,000s, but I think it was worth it, especially since this was our first one. And we don't have a lot of plumbing experience, so we feel like that really helped us with plumbing, because I really feel like we would have run into some trouble with that. But let me go ahead and show you what it looks like underneath. The rimless runs on a sump, so down here you can see this is the sump under here. We have some bulk reef down there. We're just conditioning it so we can add that to the tank. Right here we have a reservoir that holds the RO water, and then down here you can see the socks are under there. They're a little dirty, but the water basically comes out of the tank, runs through here, goes through the sock filters down there, and then it also goes through a mesh filter, and it goes back up into the tank. And the sump is something that we really debated while we were deciding what we wanted to do. But a sump really adds a lot of extra filtration to the tank, and we decided that if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it all the way. So we did the sump, and I feel like that was probably a good decision on our part. Another cool thing that we did, if you do a sump and you have a cabinet underneath, we added these little puck LEDs. They're super cheap from Home Depot or Lowe's, and they make seeing everything under the cabinet so much easier because it's pretty dark under there if you don't have those. And then also a necessity when you start up a reef tank is a testing kit. You're really going to need that to check and see what your levels are. Another thing, when you wire everything up and you plug everything in, you're going to want to make sure that your wires are run to where they have a drip loop in them, so that if any leaks come from the tank, that they're going to fall in these loops right here, you can see, so that they're not going to go directly into the power outlet. And we actually mounted ours up here so that, I mean, gravity, the water is never ever going to get into the outlet, so you always want to be safe with that and kind of think about those things. We have not done a water change yet, and that's probably what our next video is going to be about. So that's probably going to be quite a challenge. So there's a better look at our fish right there. We haven't named them yet, so if you have any suggestions on names, that would be good. You can't really tell in the video, but they are black and white clownfish. They have a little bit of orange on their faces, so that's kind of cool. Something cool with clownfish is that they don't really have a gender until they're paired up, and the most dominant fish in the group will become the females, and they'll actually get bigger than the males, so that's kind of cool. They're kind of spunky. The male fish is actually a lot spunkier than the female fish. He's more fun to watch. He'll go from one side of the tank to the other side of the tank, and the female will just kind of like hang out in one spot. This has kind of been her spot today. So another good thing about having a sump is that you can hide everything in the sump. Like with that rock, we're able to condition it down there, and there's a lot less clutter in the tank. Here in the back we have, I don't know if you can really see, but they are some power heads over here to create flow in the tank. And we're running on a 65-gallon tank, and we have 2 power heads, one in each corner of the tank, just to create really good flow. We'll probably be able to move those around a little bit more once we start adding corals. We are going to try to add an anemone, so we'll see how that turns out. Really not sure about that one. We've heard mixed things on those, so I'm sure we'll do a video on that once we do add that. Back there you can kind of see the heater back there. We weren't able to add that to the sump because it was too tall. It actually told us to not put it in, to not mount it horizontally, so we had to mount it vertically. It wasn't able to fit vertically in the sump, so we had to put it in the tank. It's actually not that bad of an eyesore. On lighting, we ended up going with, I don't know if you can really see them, but we ended up going with LED lighting. We got it for around $180, and with this brand, it's called Fluval, and there were some mixed things that we read on them. They're mostly known for freshwater tanks. They're not really known for saltwater. They just got in the business for saltwater, so a lot of what we were hearing was that the light was not strong enough for hard corals that are on the bottom of the tank, but as you can see, it's pretty bright, so I think they'll be okay. They weren't too expensive, but then again, you just never know. You kind of have to, you know, you gotta test them out, try them out, see how they do. Once we start getting corals in here, we'll be better equipped to say whether or not they're good or not from our own experience. But for now, they're doing good. Our bacteria is good, our tank environment is good, so for now they're good, but true test is when we get corals in. Another cool thing that we added to clean the tank is this little cleaner magnet. It just moves along the tank, and it has another Velcro side to it. This one's super small. We ended up getting this to get in small crevices, but I think we're probably gonna end up getting a bigger one because we like it so much. So definitely get something like this. If you start up a tank, whether it is freshwater or saltwater, you're gonna have to clean it regardless. So we really recommend this. It's pretty cool. It's easy. You don't have to make a mess by sticking your hand all the way in the tank. And as you can see, our tank's pretty clean right now. Of course, we don't really have that much in it, but you know, it is what it is. So, and that is the first review on our brand new saltwater aquarium. Talk about things that you want to hear, questions that you have in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel to go along on this adventure with us. Thanks everyone. Bye.